it's like this. You're looking down at what gaming used to be, and there's still some good games. I'm not complaining about that. But the C-suites, the corporate side, the inefficiency, it's exhausting. Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we chat about games, and oh man, just I am so frustrated. I can't even finish my intro. But anyway, we'll just keep on going. We got layoffs again. Now this is number 4 that we've had layoff. We've had roughly 765 million impairment loss on the Bungie studio, which means they just, Sony paid too much. They paid $3.6 million back in 2022, and then they've been, continuing on to support Destiny 2, which is now canned, and then Marathon as well for another, 4 or 5 years. And yeah, that's probably hundreds of millions of more dollars. So yeah, they've probably spent over $4 billion by now just on Bungie, which, yeah, quite a few, myself included, were like, man, this is a bad idea because Bungie was independent for only 3 years before they were like, hey, we need to be bought by somebody. So if Sony hadn't bought them, I think Bungie would have blown up already back in 22. But, they've been sucking on the tea to PlayStation and Sony. And so, here we are. But again, it's just another live service game that's just blowing up. But anyway, let's get through this. So yeah, the targeted layoffs are roughly around 50% with a potential of 40 to 45%, which is so many people. Like 20% is bad, 30% is bad. Potentially over 50%, that is awful. Future projects are in early incubation, but not active development. Marathon is the only one, so those may not go forward at any point. I know people are probably hoping and coping a little bit, but they've been hoping and coping since Marathon was announced as an extraction shooter, which was like back in 23 or 24. But yeah, I'm not going to read this because this is just a bunch of corporate. Oh, we're so sorry. We're so heartbroken that we have to fire you all. It's just utter garbage. I'm not going to read it. They don't deserve it. I do feel bad for the devs, though. I wouldn't necessarily want to have a layoff right now. But I also, too, wouldn't want to work for a super big company, which I currently don't. I work for a small one. It's roughly about 100 people, and yeah, that's big enough. But yeah, this is just disgusting. So yeah, with 50%, we're roughly looking at 400 devs probably, and then an update to this from Paul Tassi. Studio head Justin Truman has also stepped down. We don't know if he has a golden parachute, but well, maybe. We know that the previous guy, Pete Parsons, did, and his was actually pretty big. But yeah, Truman will be replaced by former VP of Operations, Peoria Torkin. So good luck. I don't know what you're really going to guide going forward. And I don't want these companies to close, guys. I don't want these games to fail because I grew up in a time where there was massive growth, a lot of different games, wide variety, different type of genres, and new genres were being made and types of games, and plenty of stories and characters, and like the multiplayer was really fun back then as well, and the clan wars, and it was a really good time. But like I feel like gaming has matured because of these C-suite executives and these big companies, and we're almost at $2 billion a year for video games across all platforms, including mobile, which is really just wild. But like we've just had this downfall, I think, since live service, and we continue to have this. And when we actually take a look, at least my estimates, of the amount of money that Sony has blown on all of their canceled projects or failed projects that are just in the live service world, we're looking at, we're looking at roughly $6 billion. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Plus the studios that maybe don't necessarily have current projects. Okay, like Ben Studios, and there's others too, or like Haven. Like, is Fair Games ever going to come out? I don't know, but again, I'm not expecting that to do well either. But yeah, we do have at least a 292 across the company currently as part of the warn system for that state in Washington for those actual layoffs. And then, yeah, the contractors who helped test and ship the last Destiny hotfix, well, they're gone. They're all gone. So, but the games just have not been what we wanted, really, and they've just been frustrating to deal with. I mean, Destiny is certainly that game. Let's go back. So this was Lightfall. Okay, a lot of people, 300,000 concurrent, huge. And then the last actual update that we had, which was like the final shape, again, 300,000 plus. And then it just never recovered after that. Because again, the story was over. What was the point? It was the story that was getting people engaged. It wasn't the service. It wasn't all of the live stuff. And then there were plenty of decisions that Bungie made, even back in 2019 and 2020, that I didn't agree with. I quit in 2021 because I didn't like the direction that they were going, which was just more greedy, more power hungry. But, we had moment of triumph. People tried it out. A lot of players. So the potential is there. I mean, we all know Destiny 3 was the answer. Let's be real. But again, we went with Marathon into an extraction shooter. Just, and it's been trending down ever since. So yeah, eventually that'll peter out too. Because again, there's nothing else coming. We take a look at Marathon. Well, this was the free to play weekend. We hit 40,000 concurrent players basically. And yeah, when the weekend was over, which I want to say was Wednesday, it's been trailing off pretty good ever since. And yeah, there's some people that bought it. I'm sorry you did. But make better decisions with your purchases. And the thing that's interesting too is when we actually take a look at the review score, every week is going down. Remember, this was an 84. This would actually had a higher review score than Destiny did. But nope, that's not the case now. They just focused on the wrong game, man. I'm serious. And again, live service, I think, is just getting tired for a lot of people. The whole PvP space, I think, is just getting tired. And we still have games in development that are focusing toward this aspect of gaming. But I mean, if you have Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7 basically completely lose their player bases in a way or fail or whatever, that's kind of shocking. Like, Black Ops 7 is probably still making money, disgustingly enough. But also a lot of people play it. It's still usually in the top 10 or top 15, depending on the platform, at least with PlayStation and Xbox. So yeah, there's still plenty of people playing. But like, Marathon was never going to work. Again, you can't have a massive budget, roughly $200 or $300 million on a niche game, on a niche genre, wiping every time. Again, there's nothing wrong with the game itself, but the game needed at a maximum of $100 million, and well, that's just not the case. So yeah, you got to cut, and we're getting those cuts. So roughly 400 million are going. 400 devs probably are going to be cut ultimately, and those cuts are happening on like July. I think July, kind of mid-July sometime. Officially, we took a look at the last 30 days for PlayStation Time Tracker. Again, this isn't everybody, but just those that wish to. You can put Track Flight for 30 days, for 30 days on your friends list, and you'll actually get your information tracked. But this is roughly 18,000 players, and as you can see, COD is number 10, Destiny is number 11 in the last 30 days for hours played, which is really good. When we take a look at where Marathon is, it's number 56, which looks good. I mean, they've moved up 9, but just hold on. When we take it the 7, again, Track Flight, there's Destiny, number 3. It's actually above COD. COD's number 12. And then all the way down here, there's Marathon, number 84 in the last 7 days. Gone down 30 from the last week. So yeah, people aren't playing it. Take a look at Xbox. Again, this is just looking at the Series X and S consoles. They went up in price again, or will in August. Yay! So buy it now if you wish. But yeah, it's just going way too expensive. Again, there's COD in the top number 14-ish, somewhere in there. Destiny isn't even on the list. I wanted to show that Destiny 2. So yeah, people checked it out like myself and then just hopped off. I haven't gone back. And then there's Marathon at number 97. So they were in the 20s. They were actually doing pretty good again during the free-to-play weekend, but nope, we're back into the top 100, and this keeps moving back through the 90s just about every other day. So yeah, we'll be out of the 100s in just probably 2 or 3 more days, and that'll be it. But yeah, there is no future for any of this going forward, really. I mean, who's it was estimated that Bungie was costing roughly $5 to $6 million a month. So if we're losing half of the devs, let's cut that in half. Let's say 2.5 million. Okay. We're not supporting Destiny anymore, so we could probably shave off another 100,000 or 200,000. The servers are getting less, so we can cut some servers off. Let's say 2 million a month. Do you really think Marathon is making 2 million a month? Do you really think Marathon is even making 1 million a month? No. So who are we fooling? I mean, I've been talking about the nuclear bomb at Sony, which is Bungie, for the last year. They got videos going back 10 months talking about this. So just how it didn't make sense. But again, we have Marathon come out in March. And it's basically, again, they've tried everything in the book except totally free to play, which I think is their next option if they want to continue. But again, I just don't think people care. They're more excited for Resident Evil Requiem. They're more excited for Crimson Desert. They're more excited for Subnautica 2, which is early access. They're more excited for all of these other types of games. Tides of Annihilation, or Ace Combat 8, or Forza 6, Wolverine. There's more people excited for those games than what Marathon was ever going to produce. And so I'm just personally frustrated because I know Bungie is not the same company, but again, the legacy that they have is truly amazing. And it's just frustrating to watch it burn. And AAA is just burning. Just straight up, just on fire, and there's bombs going off, and there's fire tornadoes. The inferno is just getting so bad. And, yeah, maybe it needs to happen. And I'm there with you. I'm sitting in my lawn chair watching it burn, baby. But I'm not smiling. Because there are so many more layoffs that are coming. We even have two with Xbox. They're going to allow maybe the 3 studios that they're going to close to possibly go independent, which is Ninja Theory, Compulsion Games, and Double Fine. So we'll see if they can or not, but otherwise they're just going to be totally canned and closed down. But those 3 studios put together are smaller than the layoffs that Bungie's going to have. And I don't even think Bungie can stay alive. And yeah, this is their 4th layoff. 5th layoff is coming probably later this year. Season 3 is supposed to start in like August, September for Marathon. But is anyone going to be there to play? We can't even hit 10,000, guys. Maybe on the weekend. What was the last weekend? Ouch. 11,000, 11,600, 11. That was the last weekend. It's probably going to be lower. Maybe not even hit. Wow, that's really bad, guys. So anyway, yeah, it's just the whole thing is on fire. Whether it's Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox, whether it's EA, Ubisoft, or BioWare, or Embracer Group, or any of these others, even the projects that NetEase and Tencent have funded, they've pulled a lot of it. They've chopped a lot of studios off. They've had layoffs too. Everything's just on fire, guys. Again, there is not enough money. Now, Take-Two Interactive is kind of the last one standing, but they've also spent billions over the last 3 years making their game. They're gonna make all that back? Let's take a look. So overall, it's been okay. Okay, we've definitely had a pretty good run up, right? GTA had a really good run up, but we're just kind of stagnant right now, and we're waiting for the game to actually come out. Again, they've done well the last several quarters, hitting above where they're projected, but well, the gap is getting smaller. And it's got to come out at this point. This is August. But we take a look. This is what I really want to show, is their net income. 2022, negative $1 billion. 23, negative 3.7. 24, negative 4.5. 25, negative 300 million. But either way, they've had really bad negative margin. The first time they actually made real profit was 12% in 21. So they haven't made profit since. And 4.5, 3.7, 1.1. That's like $8 billion, guys. Is GTA going to make $8 billion? I don't know. How many copies would that be at $80? Let's look. We're looking at $8 billion that they need to make up, roughly. Divided by 80. They need 100 million copies to break even, to at least make this money back. 100 million. And again, if we divide by $100 for the game, which some people will do, of course, then we're looking at 80 million copies need to be sold. Are they going to get there? I don't know. I'm going to be watching. Like and sub if you're curious as I am. Because, I'm going to be keeping track of it. And when I have information and data, I'm going to be presenting it. So, it's just sad. It's just sad, the state of the industry, because, it's like this. You're looking down at what gaming used to be, and there's still some good games. I'm not complaining about that. But the C-suites, the corporate side, the inefficiency, the inhumanness is it's exhausting. Really. It is. Anyway, that's all I got. Just frustrated. I'll see you guys on the next one.